Madam Secretary, can I have a roll call?
Commissioner Gross-Claus,
Here.
Commissioner Miller,
Here.
Commissioner Caldwell-Epps,
Here.
Commissioner Forsyth,
Here.
Commissioner Miller.
I believe you called me already.
Oh, I did, sorry. Okay, Commissioner Forsyth,
Here.
Commissioner Zhang,
Here.
Chair Smith. I'm sorry about that. I'm a little off today.
Here. Okay, can we get the approval of the minutes from March 5th, 2025?
Can someone make a motion to adopt the minutes of March 5th?
A motion to adopt the minutes of March 5th.
I'll second. Gross-Claus.
Jackie's here now. Motion made by Commissioner Miles, seconded by Commissioner Gross-Claus to adopt the minutes of March 5th. Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell-Epps,
Abstain. I wasn't in attendance. That's the right thing to do, correct?
okay, yeah. Commissioner Gross-Claus,
Yes.
Commissioner Zhang,
Yes.
and I just noticed, Miss Hollis Combs, Miss Combs Hollis, we're voting to adopt the minutes of
Yes,
March
I read the minutes, yes.
and Chair Smith.
Yes.
Motion to adopt the minutes.
Okay, do we have any reports of any enforcement actions in the historic district?
No,
Any communications?
no,
Any old application? Oh, we do have an old application?
no,
Well, this is the same application from last time, right?
yes.
So would that be an old application or a new application?
Well, it's the new application because everything wasn't heard, so it's new application.
No worries. So let's start the new application. So the address is 48-54 Bradford Place, Four Corners, H25-020. So just as a note, Commissioner Gross-Claus, myself, and Commissioner Woodruff was in design review with them and went through the whole process of design review with them about the first part of the application is demolition, the second is design. So just want to put that on record. Can you invite who's here for this application?
Okay, I'm gonna bring them in.
Everyone here representing this case, please turn on your cameras. Madam Secretary, who's Four Oranges?
I don't know if they may be part of the team.
Can you see me? Mark Hykins,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, so let me take you out.
Loading on the existing column and the existing footing because we don't know what the capacity are. So if you scroll down the last page, And you will see that that's the additional column we're gonna add in there in order to support a 5-story building on the top of that. In this particular case, obviously, physically, structurally, probably is okay. The only problem is once you do that, you're going to lose a lot of parking space in the basement, which is original planning by the architect. And in the meantime, the existing structure is a very poor shape because it was using as the auto dealership. So the roofs leak very bad and cause, you can stop this is photo number 6. You can see that actually, we don't know when they start doing this, but you can see that they actually have a steel post right in front of the existing column in order to support the existing beam, make sure the building not collapse. Obviously, the deterioration because of the water leakage and cause the connection between the beam to the column is bad. That's why I added this steel post right in front of that. And this steel post is being carried from the roof all the way down into the basement. So in order to reuse this building, besides adding an additional column, we have to do all this existing connection between the beam and the column had to be totally investigated and most likely had to be totally redo. So create a lot of financial issue because there's obviously a lot of cost. And you can see the picture, the concrete above the beam, you will see a lot of cracking and the rebar exposed. So indicate to us is that not only we need to repair the connection between the beam and the column, and also a lot of condition is existing slab is deteriorated. We have to reinforce that. Is so far anybody have a question?
Mr. Lang, this is Commissioner Miller. I have a question for you. You mentioned something with regard to soil. Was there a geotechnical investigation done on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and actually, if you're referring to my report, the item number, let me see. As the soil geotechnical test, and they did prepare the report and indicate to us that the soil condition is about 10 to 20 feet deep is unsuitable soil. So that's why we get to the conclusion, say this building had to be on the pile. And if we put any new column or a new footing, that had to be on the pile also. Which is create another issue is it's going to be difficult to install the new pile inside the existing building because it's such a short headroom. So that increase another cost because of that reason.
This is Commissioner Zhang. I had one question, which is separate from the strength of the structure behind it. What is the structural integrity of just the facade as a freestanding structure?
That I did not study that. I mean, by the condition of the existing interior space, I would assume the exterior wall probably is not a good shape either. So if you try to keep the existing facade, just for argument's sake, most likely we had to create like an independent structure, try to preserve that facade when the time they demolish the building behind it. So that really not part of my study. So I really cannot answer the question for you this time.
Thank you.
Is there any more to your presentation, sir?
No, I mean, this is the one of the study, and then later on, we request by the architect say is a possibility they can add it, because obviously the cost for this kind of deterioration to repair that is create a lot of financial burden. So they are thinking about adding additional another case of study is we do the additional put an 8-story building on top of that existing building. I mean, that's just a feasibility study, see, make sure is that possibility. And we find out we literally kill every single space of the parking space in the basement, because the way you almost added like a triple the column location what they have right now. So that study really being interrupted because physically just not feasible.
So, Mr. Ling, if I could just confirm, so if you wanted to do the additions above that were part of your study, you'd have to add substantial piles or columns throughout the building, which would take up the spaces that are occupied. In other words, it would render much of the space that's available for occupancy unusable.
That's correct. I mean, just obviously, I mean, just obviously, one time you try to reuse the existing building structure, you make sure after we do all the structural renovation, the building is still functionable. But right now, obviously, doesn't seem like a good option to do that.
This is Commissioner Miller. Is there any neighboring building that can be affected by the, when some of the demolition is taking place? Is any underpinning that has to be done?
That I don't know, because it's really not a part of our study. If you do the demolition of the existing building, I remember that actually building adjacent to it, right next to that. If that's I remember, sir, correct. Russell, if you can fill me in about that.
This is Commissioner Miller. Can I have a picture again of the building and the neighboring structure, please?
Sure. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. So again, here's the site in question. And as you can see, we're one lot in from the corner of Washington and Brantford. Okay.
Do you have an actual, Commissioner Miller, do you have an actual, okay, that's what I want, actual picture, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so here's the picture of the building right now. And here are the two adjacent buildings. They're cropped, but you could see them here. They're both 2-story type buildings here. Okay. Here you see it from the rear. Okay. And we talked about, we did mention it at the last meeting that it's actually 2 buildings that were merged at some point. That can be easily seen.
This is Commissioner Zhang. Do you have a photo showing the details of the cornice? I see there's some ornament or some name up there.
Yeah. So we had talked in our pre-design meeting that while the facade, it wouldn't appear to be able to be saved. Some of the things that we can save is this precast element here. Okay. So we definitely would want to save this and incorporate it into our new design. That's certainly a great feature that we would welcome and would incorporate.
Is that not to get too much into the new application, is that cornice feature that they're saving being incorporated into the new design in the same location as the current place or somewhere else?
I think I would have to bring up the new design, you know, and kind of go over where we would imagine it to be. But
So, sir, we're going to have to wait for that.
Yeah.
You can't answer the question. Okay, thank you.
I don't have any further questions for Mr. Ling, but if the commissioners have any other questions, we're happy to answer them.
Commissioners, are there any other questions as relates to 48-54 Branford Place, H25-020 for demolition?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have my hand raised. This is,
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
I'm sorry, this is Coombs Hollis. I just wanted further clarification on the memorandum dated May item number 3. If you could further clarify the last sentence in that memorandum, Mr. Lane?
Well, basically what is say right here is no new structure, since it's going to be a 5-story on top of the existing building. So all the material for the structure had to be non-combustible material. You cannot use wood. And so, so we recommend using the metal stuff has a bearing wall and pour a concrete slab on top of that. And obviously, you increase the weight of the building. That's part of the reason we added so many additional columns.
So it's saying based on the existing columns and footing, it could carry the new vertical expansion loading without reinforcement?
No, you really cannot do that. Part of the reason because existing footing, because we all assume the existing foundation is supported on a pile. Since we don't know how many pile they install below the footing, which you cannot see unless you totally dig it out underneath the footing, and also we don't know what's the capacity of the existing footing pile. So it's very difficult to assuming you can add any additional loading onto the top of the existing footing, existing column. So we have to add additional column, additional footing to support the expansion on top of that.
Oh, so Mr. Chairman, I guess I'm thinking that that sentence should read that it could not carry the new vertical expansion.
Unless you add a new column, additional column.
Commissioner Coombs Hollis, I think you're correct. I think there's a typo in his
Yeah.
report
Okay.
because as you're reading it, the existing columns and footings could not carry the new vertical expansion loading without the reinforcement that he's testified to. So I appreciate that you're pointing that out. I think it's a typo. It's Mr. Ling's testimony and his report that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's a mistypo. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, can I hear, before we take a vote, maybe hear from you and the 2 other members who did visit the site, your observation?
So respectfully, when this came up about a week before it's time, we didn't have a chance to visit the site. We only went right directly to design review. So it came up 2 days prior to design review, and so we went directly to design review with this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Grosskopf, you were in that meeting. Do you have any comments or thoughts about what you observed through our conversation?
Let me just make sure that I'm speaking about the right building. This was after we went to the restaurant building, and then
No. So we didn't go to this building when the secretary brought it to us. It was a day or so before design review, and so we just looked at it at design review, and then that was it.
okay. Well, I mean, it was interesting what he said and so forth, and I guess I'm torn between, if you can do something with it, maybe you should save it, but otherwise, I think, in my opinion, it would be better to have the new building with the suggestions of architecture that was there built into the new structure.
Yeah, so this is Commissioner Smith. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. So, not having gone to the building, but looking at the reports, we felt that as long as they can include as much as the existing building, is this a contributing building?
It is not.
Okay, so as long as they could use as much of the building as possible, we felt that it would be better suited for it to be demolished and build up the new building.
I may add one more thing in this conversation is, as you know, this building was used as a car showroom, and they have a built ramp from the ground level all the way to the roof. So those portion of the ramp had to be removed because nobody go do anything do anything about this the ramp. You cannot using it as an office. You can so that's a part of the thing, which is that cover about almost like 30% of the building. That portion had to be demolished in order to become a feasible condition for the residential or even retail, whatever it is.
This is Commissioner Zhang. Could you bring back the photo of the facade? I think I would agree. Oh dear.
Sorry. There you go.
I think I would agree with Commissioner Grosskloss's observation that we won't go into the details of the new building, but that whatever new building is at that location, it should should preserve a large amount of open space on the ground level for the storefront and windows on the second floor, so the facade transparency is unchanged in the old or the new. But that'll be for the next application.
Commissioners, do we have any more questions as relates to this application?
This is Commissioner O2. I'm requesting that if we could, because I see these pictures, but it doesn't show. I think the commissioner before asked to see if we had any pictures or photos of the adjacent buildings. I was wondering if we could do like a Google Earth so we could kind of see what is around the building. I don't know if Mr. Gallick can do it or.
Russ, if you want, I can bring up Google Earth and try and share it. I think unless you have photos that were taken.
Yeah, I'm looking through photos now.
Okay, I'm gonna work on bringing up Street View.
Okay.
And Commissioner O2, I did notice when I was driving by it that the ornamentation kind of wraps around all of the buildings to the corner and to Washington Street. I get that's Washington Street. Yes. The University, one of those streets.
Russell,
Is it Halsey Street?
No, I mean the main street that takes you from it's right on the corner there is Branford and
I think it's Washington.
Washington, yes.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
between Washington and Halsey.
There we are.
So this is, you can all see what I'm looking at on Google Earth, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the building right here. We're on Branford. Just to orient everyone, I believe Hobbies is down the block.
Yeah.
This is the building. If my computer will let me move over to the east. And to move back. This is Washington to the west, and this is the building immediately west. Back out a little bit. This is across the street. If there's anywhere particular you want me to move, I'm happy to do that.
I'm basically concerned with the adjacent buildings. Like I know that Mr. Lin didn't do any studies in terms of the adjacent buildings and their structural integrity, but we would like to not harm the buildings next door or adjacent while demolishing this one?
Well, if the goal is to try to demolish the existing building, and normally we do the study, make sure the existing building wall is not connect to our building wall. Okay, so you can see the existing building on the right side.
There's
There's
actually
joint right there.
there's a
So
gap.
yeah, the gap right there. So indicate to us is the totally independent building. However, on the left-hand side, they they I
There's
don't see
also,
it.
I think there's
There
also,
also a gap there. Yeah, it look like it's
it's tiny,
totally
but
independent wall. So normally, oh yeah, actually there's a gap right there. So you can see the building is totally two buildings actually totally separated. So that will be much easier for the do the demolition because once you remove the wall, our wall, you're not going to affect that wall. They're supposed to be independent wall and it's supposed to be structurally okay. However, we before to do that, normally we have to go into that building, make sure the existing condition of the two adjacent building wall is not like a compromise. So if we find out that we're going to point out to the owner, say you have something going on, either they need to do some repair or the worst condition is probably most likely if that thing happen, most likely we could probably going to provide some kind of temporary shoring just to prevent the wall doing more harm during demolition.
This is Commissioner Zhang. For the new building, when you erect the pile drivings for the foundation, will you be excavating right at the facade line to dig down, or are you only drilling the pilings for the columns? So are you excavating?
That we don't know. I mean, is it going to be depend on the disturbance? Okay. Normally, if you have if you have building adjacent to you, normally you try to not try to pound the pile into the ground because they create a lot of vibration and cause damage of the adjacent building. Most likely, we're going to probably using like we call a helical pile, which is like a big giant screw. You just screw into that, so you have less vibration, less disturbance.
Mr. Chairman, this is Gonzalez. I guess I don't want us to get into the weeds of demolition because I believe that we would at some point rely on the city's engineering department to kind of oversee that portion of the work if it's approved.
Okay. Duly noted. So is there, thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. Is there any other questions for the applicant? Miles, your hand is up again? Or is it the same hand? I see your face, but I see a hand.
Oh, me?
That's a mistake. No, that's
no, Miles, Mark.
Commissioner Grosskloss, let me just ask a question. The picture that you just had before was the sign above the on the top of the building, on the roof of the second floor, and it said the Branford Building. Is it possible that that piece of see that right there? I think that should be preserved, and even at that level on your new building. What do you think about that?
I would agree. Okay, we think it's a wonderful piece of history, and we think the way we designed the building, we can certainly incorporate it. We would want to incorporate it. Okay, we would obviously clean it up.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, restore it.
That would be the most important thing, I think, from the exterior of the building as we see it. And those that remember the Branford Building will say, I remember when that building was here, and so forth.
A long time ago.
I agree with Commissioner Grosskloss. I think that there are ways to put a higher building at this location, but I think the defining feature of the current location is there's a two-story like datum line or a two-story kind of band in that
In
name
that, above the windows on the
Exactly.
building,
that
on the,
location. And you can put higher things behind it, but as long as the two-story band is there at the second floor, it gives a sense of a continuous two-story row of buildings all up and down the historic street.
yeah.
I think we could do better. Once we get to the next application, if we get there, we would probably install it at right above the ground floor retail. And we could get into that later.
Okay,
Great. You good, Commissioner Grosskopf?
I think so, yes.
Okay. So if, Commissioners, any additional questions? Great. So can you take your presentation down? Actually, I only see you, Richard.
You only see me.
Yeah.
I've stopped sharing, Chair.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So can I get someone to make a motion?
I would make the motion, but I don't have the material. I thought I had the piece right here, but I don't next to my desk. So I don't want to make a mistake.
We'll help you out.
Okay, then I will make a motion
That
that we for
48-54 Branford Place,
right.
application H25-020.
Okay, that we approve the demolition of this building with the I guess in what we talked about entirely here today, where the building of the Branford building would be placed on the new building and so forth, and have it lighted appropriately so that it will stand out on the street.
Can I get a second motion?
A second.
Madam Secretary?
When you, Commissioners, just remember when you're making the motion, please state your name so it could be on record.
Commissioner O2 seconds.
And Commissioner Grosskopf made the motion.
Made the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Grosskopf, seconded by Commissioner O'Toole. Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Forsyth,
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell Epps,
Abstain.
Commissioner Zhang,
Abstain.
okay. Commissioner Combs Hollis,
Yes.
Commissioner Grosskopf,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Toole,
Yes.
Chair Smith.
Yes.
Motion carry, 6 in favor, 2 abstentions.
Okay, so the next application, we could go right to the next application. Next application is same address, 48-54 Branford Place, application H25021. Applicant is proposing to construct a 32-story mixed-use tower, which will include a residential lobby, office space, mail room on the ground floor, and 441 residential units will span the 7th and the 32nd floors to the 32nd floors.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate the succinct summary. I'll stop my speaking at this point and let Mr. DeRosa take over with his presentation on the proposed tower.
Okay. Thanks everyone, and we're very, very excited to present to you our vision now, our new building for this site. As I go through the presentation, this is a site where there's some other high-rise buildings around the area. We're all familiar with the Halo, which is just around the corner, and there's a few other very large developments well within the neighborhood. So we think the size of our building is appropriate, and it would certainly fit in with the fabric of what's going on with that site. Just to get to the numbers, again, we have a little over 480,000 square feet, 424 units, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, studios, as well as loft type
I'm
units.
sorry,
as
Mrs.
well.
DeRosa. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's Commissioner Miller. Can we get to the design aspect because we really don't have any say-so about the information you provided?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. I get to the plans. Okay. It will be a full cellar where we have some ground floor retail, storage space, bicycle room, and all the building utilities in the ground floor cellar. Okay. This is the I'm sorry, that was the cellar before. This is the ground floor, which we have a large retail space here to the left. In the center here, we have our lobby, which extends from front to the back, rear yard. And we have a ramp leading up to parking, okay? We have parking on levels 2 through 5, okay? And right here, we have, excuse me, a typical parking plan, okay? On level 6, we have an amenities area. In the amenities area, we are looking at a nice oversized gym at the rear, party room, gathering room. We're also looking at a lap pool as well as part of the overall health spa area, and some indoor-outdoor space here fronting Branford Place. Okay. Starting on the 7th floor, that's where we get into our residential units. At the corners, we have our multi-bedroom units, 2 bedrooms here at the bookends. The light blue are our single units. We have our 3 bedroom units right here in the corner. You can see the size of the rooms. Each of the 1 bedrooms are 680. Here we have even 700 square feet for one bedrooms.
Mr. DeRosa, I'm sorry to disturb you again. This is Commissioner Miller.
Sure.
We are concerned about the exterior design, nothing to do with the inside. So
Okay.
if you can do that, we would really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Commissioner Sang, if
And
you could,
we appreciate all your design and everything. Your
Okay.
details. But
We'll just get right to it then.
get right to the point.
Not a problem. Well, I will show this slide. The primary material is a terracotta panel. It's not an all-glass building. We wanted to use a traditional type of material, incorporate it with some metal and glass here at the base. And I'm just going to get right to the renderings, and here we go. Okay. So here you can see the design of the building, the materials that we're using, the terracotta panels here at the base that extends up the tower. Here you see the storefront. Again, we want to engage Broad Street. We want to light, Branford Place. We want to light up Branford Place. We have more glass. We have more storefront than we did before. And at this area right here, okay, this is where we want to put that precast element. Okay, so if we're looking at a 15-foot floor-to-floor height here, this is where we have our precast element. Okay, probably right above the entrance here. Okay, so
Excuse me, this is Commissioner Grosskreutz. Is this the sign that we just approved go on the building then?
the sign would go right where my cursor is.
Okay, okay,
Right in that band. Okay.
okay.
One of the challenges we had was obviously we need parking on this site. So, you know, we worked really hard to make it a artistic type of piece with LED lighting, metal panels, and you can see that it became a design feature for us. Okay. Here's the tower going up. Okay. Again, one of the unique things about this building is that every single unit is going to have a balcony, and that balcony has become an integral part of the design. You can see how we random the balcony sizes as it goes from floor to floor. You can see how the window, the ribbon windows kind of start from top to bottom as they kind of, you know, free flowing their way down. Okay.
Could I ask about, Commissioner Grosskreutz, could I ask about the lighting at the front of the building and so forth? on the white pieces that go from above, right, no, oh, right, go over a little bit further. Over, yeah, that one, the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could you have uplighting on those and to make the street brighter so that it, in other words, it's on the building, but it reflects down to the street? And also any lighting, I don't see any fixtures that you have on the thing to light up the front.
Okay. Well, we do have these ground lights shooting up up the columns here.
You do?
Okay. Yes, right. One here, one here, one here, one here. You can see the light shine up from the ground up.
Okay.
Also, at these two overhangs, we do have recessed lighting and the overhangs shining down.
Okay.
Okay. And here is 15 feet of glass high. All right. So you're going to get a lot of light from the retail and restaurant spaces spilling out to the street. These parking levels, as I mentioned before, we try to make it an artistic type of statement here. And these are LED lights that you can see it shine from here down, here up. So we understand how important it is to energize the street and to light up the street and create life on the street. That's what every building we do in Newark, and we've been in Newark a long time, what we're trying to do. It's one of our design goals is to really engage the street and light up that street.
Thank you.
Okay.
May I ask a question about the, is that the entrance to the parking garage there
Yes.
right on the right?
Right here, yes.
And they're both in and out? It looks very narrow to me.
It is in and out. It is 20 feet wide, which is within standards. Okay, so you can have two-way traffic there.
What happens to the parking on that side of the street? Which I believe now it's parking all through there.
There's existing, yes. We're not proposing to take it away or anything.
I'm just worried about the swing getting into the parking garage.
This existing driveway is already here. Okay, we're just going to be maybe modifying it or improving it. But as mentioned before in the demo of the building, there's actually a ramp in the old building that again the old building was used as some sort of car lot, and there's parking in there. So this driveway is existing.
Okay.
This is Commissioner Zhang. I have two questions. The first one is, what is that transparency for like the third through fifth floors where you see the cars there? So do you see all the way through it? So, or are you entirely covered up by the lighting?
It's not completely covered. So these are aluminum panels here. Okay, and these are aluminum fins. All right, that are staggered in different, with different on-center dimensions. Okay. Again, we wanted to kind of create almost an art piece, almost like a sculpture. All right. We felt like it was very important to address the parking area in a way that enhances the building, and we felt like we really did that. Another thing to point out is the material of the facade to us was very important. All right. And we wanted to go with a material that has a traditional historic quality to it, like a terracotta, but use it in a kind of modern way, which we felt like we did. And here you can see the accents that we use. This is a bronze coated type of trim here at each portal. Okay, just to give it that extra richness. But again, that bronze color is sort of like a traditional historic color. All right, that we think works really well in this new modern design. So,
and my second commission, this is Commissioner Zhang, and a second question is, for that big garage door, what is the material for that? So will it be closed at night with large vertical slats? Will it have glass panels in it? Or is the one that's shown on the screen the one proposed for the project?
it doesn't have to be. It's going to be secured. All right. It's going to be gated. There's going to be full-time the people working at the building. But we can certainly look into incorporating some glass in there. So this way, perhaps we can improve that door.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think the door deserves as much treatment as the second and third floors there. Something similar, something so that when you walk by, you don't have this big 15 feet high metal panel.
Sure. Okay.
Let me ask a question about the garage. With the garage door being the exit for the cars across the sidewalk, uh, people coming out of the building in a car almost have to be halfway across the sidewalk to see if there's anybody coming or if they can go out. Does that make sense?
I think I understand your concern. Again, I would like to point out that there's an active driveway. That driveway is existing, and that door and that ramp is active now.
But not for 100 for the number of apartments that you have or the number of cars that you'll have in there. It's only like a fix-it garage, I think.
Correct. There could be many safety features that we can incorporate in the building at that garage level to make sure that traffic is managed in a very safe way. All right, whether it be some type of alert or side gates. There's several options out there that we can look at to make sure that pedestrian safety is maintained.
This is Commissioner Zhang. I had one other question, which is, I know you don't own the properties behind it, the parking lots behind it. But based on your purchase of the property, do you know if there are any existing easements that link the alleyway from the rear to one of the exit garage doors through the parking lot? So that is, in other words, would it be possible to build this project where the entrance or exit to the garage from the rear side of the property instead of from the commercial Branford side, if you have any easements that allow you to cross over?
I don't think there's any easements in place right now. I think it's a great idea, personally. And I can't speak for ownership, but I think it's something that we would investigate, sure.
The reason I ask is I can't see from the current site condition photos if there was an exit garage door from the rear of the property into the parking lot. Because if there is a door, it could indicate an easement that hasn't been enforced by the owner.
Can I jump in? One of the I can. So you are correct. There is another opening in the back, but there is no easement. But that's something we can definitely discuss with ownership of that property.
Yeah, the reason I ask is if the applicant, if you're able to do that, allows you to kind of line up more cars that enter and exit because they're lining up from the rear side and not crowding up Branford Place with new cars. And it allows you to have more of a commercial space on Branford, so it's all commercial from Hobbies down to Washington Street. If you are able to execute that easement on the rear of the property.
Yeah, again, I think it's a very good idea, and as Mark, the owner, just said, it's something that we'll definitely aggressively pursue.
Yeah.
Is
This
the
is
garage?
Commissioner Forsyth. I have a quick question. What are the railings looking like for the balconies?
Glass. So
Oh, they're glass. Oh,
yes. Okay, so this is a really good shot of it. I didn't really mention the rooftop, but we obviously have an active rooftop here. But as stated before, every unit has outdoor space. We thought, that there's a lot of new construction going on in the city, and how do we make our building different? How do we make our building special? And one of the things that the owners were very passionate about was outdoor space. Not only the rooftop, the communal rooftop, which many buildings have, but it was really important to have private outdoor space. So every unit has access to a balcony. All right. So obviously, the railing is glass. And here's a good view of the upper portion of the building on just how every unit has access to outdoor space.
Commissioner Miller, if you, when the way the windows are, is there, I mean, I'm looking at some of how they are organized here in the design. I don't know if the commissioners noticed that. But I see no consistency in how the design of the window are in the building. If you zoom in to what you just showed, for example, the big side, which is to the right, all of those are there, and then the other ones up there. And then on the other side, it's a bit confusing for me to see a building with windows and a design going like this.
Sure. I think here's a really good view of it, how we thought it'd be boring just to have straight lines up, so to have sort of like a free flowing window pattern here makes the facade a lot more interesting, a lot more striking. We think it gives the building a lot of character, and it's just shifting a window over a foot or two, that again you sort of get this free flowing motion. And it's part of the overall design theme. When you have a large building, how do you get creative with it? And we think the window pattern and the way the windows sort of start from top to bottom as they kind of freeform their way down. We think it's one of those things that makes gives the building its identity.
Okay. I understand. This is Commissioner Miller. I understand more of what you're trying to project. Tell me about the windows and tell me the material and what are you using?
The windows would be an aluminum type of window again, but with the color of that dark bronze. Okay, so we had mentioned it before, and this is a little pixelated, but we want to go with a color that in a landmark district that has some historic meaning to it, and we're applying it in a modern way. So we're keeping the palette somewhat simple. We like the off-white cream color terracotta, along with the bronze color aluminum highlights around the windows, around the portals here at the parking area. We think this subtle palette is really best appropriate for the project.
Commissioner Miller, I just want to see samples or details of the windows. It looks like there's two type of windows. I just wanted to see that material, and I want to see the actual window to see what is it, because it's kind of hard to see, especially right here. Those are smaller, and then the other ones are double, and then you have the ones that are single. So do you have an actual rendering of that window? What the manufacturer is?
Well, we haven't really selected a manufacturer, but the single windows would typically be in a bedroom, which is a little bit of a smaller room. The bigger windows would be in the living area, okay, where it's a much bigger room, so we have much bigger windows.
This is Commissioner Zhang. I see from your building, the renderings, you have like a strongly pronounced kind of base section, and then the entire middle section is the tower. Is there any kind of detail or any kind of ornament or something that distinguishes like the top or the crown of the building? Like a walk around Broad and Market, and every building there has like a base, a middle, and a top. And so,
Sure.
what is like the roof of this building, the crown?
Okay. I don't think we really, given the way where the design was going, a crown, I'm not sure was maybe the best approach for this. All right. So we do have that base, and we do have that middle section. And again, the orientation of the window patterns here was sort of like something that gave the building its character. Okay. I have an animation as well. 1 second, which I'd like to show.
This is Commissioner Zhang. I just wanted to add for the record, following on my earlier comment about the easement, is I just checked the property records, and I believe that the 20-foot parcel linking the rear of this property to the alley over the parking lot on Maiden Lane, that alley, sold in 2018 for about 165,000. So I don't know if acquiring that is ever in the schedule, but it is a possibility in theory. Yeah, anyway.
This is Commissioner Miller. I also wanted to, I don't know if Kelly noticed this, but I don't see much greenery in this particular project. Even downstairs, it's 2 trees. When you can have a little bit more, you have that rooftop that you can put more greenery. I don't see any plants. So I don't know. Kelly, what do you think?
I was thinking the same thing, and I thought if you look at the rooftop garden, there's a very large black roof that should either be green or it should be white, to help mitigate the heat island effect in Newark. But in terms of street trees, I counted 3 street trees, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think the width of the front yard is not particularly great. It's not a long stretch, but we would certainly look to maximize as many street trees as possible at grade level. At the rooftop here, you can see we have our gathering spaces, we have our planting areas. We have no issue augmenting some of the plantings here on the roof. Okay, and we can certainly look this to be a green roof as well on top of the penthouse.
Mr. Chairman, this is Gonzalez. I know that there was some discussion during the demolition portion for this application about the banding for the maintaining the banding with the name, but it wasn't clear to me what the dimensions of that band would be and what it would essentially look like. I'm not sure there's enough room to add that without. I don't know. I think I have a little bit of concern as to what, and if the architect could maybe show the commission what that would essentially look like, maintaining the old name onto the new building. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Mr. DeRosa, can you answer that question?
Yes, so we think the ideal spot would be right above here.
Russell, could you share your screen? Because I don't think we can see what you're looking at.
Oh, wait, oh God, I'm sorry. Can you see it now?
Yes.
This is
Okay.
Commissioner.
I'm sorry. I was trying to share the video, the animation. All right, so I'm gonna pause the animation real quick, but right up here's the entrance of the building. All right, and we think the precast element would go well right here.
So the question, I think, Mr. DeRosa, is there enough space there to capture the same casting that's on the building at this moment?
Yes, yeah, I we could certainly incorporate that precast element, and I don't see any issue with the dimensions of it.
This is Commissioner Zhang. For that precast element that you're preserving, are you mounting it on the facade or kind of incorporating it flush with the facade? So in other words, does it look like it's hanging from the facade, or does it look like an integral part?
No, we would integrate it in the facade.
Okay.
All
So
right, yeah, we
it's maybe
certainly
like a
wouldn't
hanging
want
sign there. It will look like it was built into the wall. Like there'll be a hole
Yeah.
in the facade for you to fit that sign exactly.
Yeah, no, we would definitely do that. So I just wanted to get to the rooftop because I know there was a comment here, and I thought this was playing and you were seeing it, but here's a good image of the roof. Here you can see the gathering spaces and some of the green spaces here. And we can certainly augment some of the green spaces on the rooftop. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot. It's Commissioner Miller. I see a lot of space there to put some trees for shade.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any.
This is Combs Hollis, again, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the comments made by Commissioner Zhang, because initially my concern was that the garage door just did not fit well into this design. And I just wondered, Mr. Chairman, if there's a way that we can, if the commission was inclined to approve this design, if there's a way that we can see what that would potentially look like, incorporating Commissioner Miller's, Commissioner Zhang, Commissioner Rossler's comments about some of the changes. How can we see that, maybe condition it onto them submitting?
Commissioner Hollis, I think that we could just add that as part of the conditions.
Yes.
As part of the conditions of approval, that those things be brought to the commissioners so that we can know that what we're asking is being actually done.
Yeah.
We approve of it.
No worries, Jackie. I wrote it down.
Oh, good. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Zhang. Maybe one of the conditions of approval could specify that the garage door has, 50% or 60% transparency, or something that is doesn't specify the design, but doesn't specify the exact design, but specifies
Concept.
the concept. That's the word.
I just, thank you, because I did not want, because I thought the comments and the feedback were excellent, and I did not want it to be lost in, if we were inclined to approve this, not get lost somewhere.
Commissioner Miller has taken copious notes.
Yeah, Commissioner Grosskopf, I'm thinking of the garage door also, and I'm wondering, is it going to be a 24/7 gate coming up and down and up and down and up and down? Or is it going to be open for a certain number of hours and then closed? And is it going to be closed at a point when somebody's going to have an instrument to push a button to have it go up if they come home at 12 o'clock in the evening or something? Or how's that all going to work? I mean, I almost like the back door that Commissioner Zhang was talking about, if that's a possibility. And it sounded like there might be something that they could do to buy I don't know, but it just, and I'm thinking of people walking by, and if a car is going to come out, there should be some kind of a light outside, like flashing light, that means that the door is going to go up or whatever it does, and then the light will indicate to the pedestrians to watch out, or I mean, it's maybe a safety hazard. I don't know.
This is Commissioner Caldwell Epps. I live in a building, as all of you know, with a garage on a very busy street. It's a slatted metal garage, so you can see in and out, cars going in and out. And that way pedestrians can also see when a car is at the gate.
That might be a suggestion then.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good suggestion. I will admit to you that the garage door will need to be improved. No question about it. And we'd be more than happy to do that.
This is Commissioner Zhang. I agree with that. Having a transparent garage door might be safer. I don't think there's a way for the commission to kind of legally specify that the entrance to the garage should be from the maiden lane side, the rear side, or that the owner should acquire an easement. It might go beyond the powers of the commission. But I would say for the record that if the applicant did do that, I think it would improve the quality of the property and the percentage of the Brantford side that is retail space.
So this is Gonzalez. I guess what I'm hearing is that we're asking the applicant to make their best effort in looking at the entrance.
The main entrance.
I can answer for the applicant, part owner. We will definitely make every effort.
That because I see from the property records that there's a narrow bit of land that's reaches from your rear property wall to the maiden line alley side that's 20 feet wide and sold for in 2018 for just $170,000. And if you did acquire that, it would allow several cars to line up at the entrance to the garage without taking up any of the sidewalk space and without occupying Branford Place. I mean, there's no way for you to ask the owner of the neighboring property to have to sell it to you.
Yes.
But if you are able to do that, it does solve all the problems of the garage and it significantly improves the quality of your project.
So this is
We will,
Smith. We're just asking you to make the best efforts.
we will make every effort.
Yes.
This is Commissioner Miller. Mr. DeRosa, can you please explain a little bit the outdoor space for each unit? I mean, I'm looking at it, but I don't really see anything. Maybe I'm not, I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Sure.
Just
I-
give me
as
a
I-
little explanation about it and the materials you're using out there.
Sure. So here you can see on every level, every unit, there's a balcony. All right. As you go around the building, one second. You know, as you go around the building, you can see the balconies, and that's part of the reason why we made the railing glass, because we like the horizontal lines that the balconies create. But each balcony is 4.5 feet wide. All right, and they vary anywhere from like 8 to 10 to 12 feet long, depending on the unit. You know, like a 2-bedroom unit would have a bigger balcony than, let's say, a studio. But again, it was just a common goal to have indoor outdoor space for every person living in the building, you know, their own private outdoor space. So I hope that answers.
I'm still, this is Commissioner Miller, I'm still unclear as to how it looks. It's very hard to determine how it looks. I know you says, I'm just trying to picture, I'm in my apartment, I'm coming outside and I'm looking here, but all I see, I don't see anything. I mean,
But you do
I don't
see
know, it's very difficult for me to determine.
you do
Okay.
see the balconies here on every level.
I do see that, something that's similarly something like, so you say it's glass on top of
Yes.
whatever you see there that's brown, there's like glass on top of that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get a.
Is that glass completely all the way to the top or?
No, the glass is 42 inches high. One second.
All right, let me show, I just needed to see more details about it.
There you go. I don't know if you can.
Okay, I see a little bit better now, okay.
There you go. So this is kind of like a wood simulated finish here.
Yeah,
Underneath, like a wood soffit, and this is
Okay.
like a bronze banding around it. And here you can see the glass this high,
so you said the glass is 48 inches?
42 inches high.
Is there any way that it could be a little bit higher?
42 inches is actually a little bit above code. But we could make it a little higher, I guess. Sure.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying it is because this is a 30, how many stories? 32 stories.
That's correct. Yes.
And 48 inches is not much of a defense when you're in front of it.
Sure.
If
We
you're
can
at that height.
we can certainly look to make the glass a little higher, but I hope this brings a little more clarity, these images here.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, thank
It
you.
definitely did, and I appreciate that. So if you can try to see if at least 50, I think that would be I don't know how the other commissioners feel, but that's just my thought because of the amount of floors that we have.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Smith. I will prefer being higher also. I'll be a little uncomfortable.
This is Commissioner
The children are in the building too. You don't want to have one playing with the other and push the other one over the railing or so. Oh my goodness.
This is Commissioner Thang. I don't know what the answer to this question is or this concern is. Sometimes when there are these glass walls and balconies, glass fences, people put like their garage doors or they put their bicycles, they put the balcony becomes like a place to store stuff. And then from all everyone walking by, they look up and see like the people's BBQ, stuff and their bicycles and their laundry hanging.
Yeah.
Is there some way to have like a non-transparent fencing beneath like the 10th floor or something so that the facade isn't cluttered by whatever people put on their balconies?
Or Commissioner Zhang, maybe the
Um,
management can maybe put something in their lease agreements that there's no storage of outdoor anything.
This is Commissioner Caldwell Epps. I happen to, again, live in one of the buildings with glass this high on the balcony. There are certain rules and regulations enforced by the landlord of what you can and cannot have on the balcony, not for the reasons that you mentioned, but because of wind
Okay, thank
and
you.
things blowing off. So they're very carefully monitored.
Thank you. The reason I asked that is that was exactly Mies van der Rohe's concern why he objected to balconies on the pavilion and colonnades in 1960. He didn't want people to put stuff on there.
Yeah, I think that's really a building management issue that, and be part of their lease too, that nothing could be stored out there. It's just meant for, outdoor space. Again, the glass balcony is a big part of the design. Or it enhances the horizontal appearance of the base of the balcony here that you see here. And it breaks up the verticalness of the tall building. So we think it's an important part of design, the balconies and the way we designed it. So.
This is Commissioner Miller, and Mr. DeRosa, I really appreciate when I first looked at the design and I saw how you use the garage space, because the garage can look very ugly from the outside, and I appreciated the materials that were used to highlight or to bring light to the building. So I think that's a good idea, and I also think that the glass concept is also good. So it looks good.
Thank you. We really focused on the garage level. I mean, look, we've been in Newark for over 20 years. We've been here a while, and we've seen other developments, and we've learned from other projects. What we like and what we don't like, what works, doesn't work, and we made sure that we address the garage area artistically, and let it be an asset to the design. So we think we did that, and it's good to hear that feedback.
This is Commissioner Miller. I also want to remind you that the signage for outside is not on this application. So when you guys get ready for the signage in front of the building, don't forget to come before us.
Will do.
This is Gonzalez. Commissioner Miller, can you maybe just go, I think you were taking notes on the recommendations, maybe just highlight those, put those into the record so we can maybe get to a point where we are comfortable with making a motion?
Sure, I got it.
Any additional questions, commissioners? If there's no more questions, Mr. DeRosa, you can take your amazing video down. Commissioners, can I get a motion to move on the design with the conditions on this building?
Chair, can we see if anyone from the public?
Oh,
Oh, the public.
It's so long. I apologize, public. Is there one here from the public?
I'm seeing a raised hand, Mr. Tabia. Let me bring that person in. They had their hand raised a little while.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, good evening, commissioners. I had a quick question. I didn't see the entire first presentation, so I just wanted to ask a quick question about the stability of the building. the existing building. Is that okay if I do that?
Sure, you got 2 minutes.
So I just wanted to know, before the building gets demolished, I know that you were saying there was some stability issues about about adding additional floors to the building, but I just wanted to be clear, if the building were to be just renovated as a simple 2-story building, are you, is the existing building actually stable to have done that?
I think that's a question for Mr. Lane.
I think even you try to preserve the existing building, you still need a lot of repair had to be done because years of neglect and water leakage from the roof cause a lot of structural issue. You had to spend a lot of money to do the repair first before bring back to their own original integrity.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I can make a comment at this point, but it seems that this building is in the way of the developer's plan, and I think actually it should be the reverse. The developer's plan is in the way of protecting the existing building. I understand it's not a contributing building, but I think this is one of the rare streets in Newark where you almost have a preserved streetscape all the way down. We also lost the Metropolitan building around the corner recently. And, I know I don't want to get in the way of development in Newark, but it seems more and more that if a developer is willing to build a multi-story structure, then historic buildings are disposable. And I hope that we can save more buildings in the future. And that's all. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
This is,
Anybody else from the public?
no, I don't see any other raised hand.
Okay, commissioners, can I get a motion to move on this?
This is Commissioner Miller. I'll make the motion. Can you please, Anthony, can you please call out the application
Yes,
information?
sure.
I don't have that.
So,
Nakari, excuse me, before you start, just remember to read the conditions.
Yes.
Thank you.
she took copious notes. So the application
I think anyway.
address is 48-54 Branford Place, Four Corners, Historical District, application H25-021.
I make a motion to approve. And we have the following conditions to the project. The first one is the precast, to precast the sign on a building. So that's from the old building. That was one thing that we had talked about. Also, the glass on the garage door. We're looking somewhere about 50%, or either someone or a fluted type of door, so you can see the interior of the garage, so the pedestrian passing by can know that that a car is coming. That's one of the, and also we would like the architect to submit designs for the door. We also are asking for the glass on the deck, on the space outside for that the tenants are going to be using, to be at least 50 inches of coverage. And also we talked about in the roof, the condition also includes in the inner roof, we need more greenery, more plants or trees. And in the front, we had, I counted 2 again. I think that three plants will be sufficient for the front. But upstairs, like we mentioned, and like the previous commissioner mentioned, more greenery in the upstairs will be good. We also have the signage if the signage for the building, most when the developer is going to put it up, is they agree to come before us so we can see the signage that's going to go on the building. And we also talked about the windows. That the materials for the window was not submitted to us, so we need to see those items, the windows, what it is, and again, it was mentioned that you have a single and a double window, and the double windows are going to be used. Those material have to be submitted to our office, and those are all the conditions that I have, unless I forgot anything.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Zhang. I think, yeah, I agree that we did talk about the 50% transparency for the ground floor entrance. I think I'd also add is that when that limestone cornice sign Branford Place is taken off and restored, that it be embedded within the facade, not mounted on it, but be an integral part of the design.
Yes,
Okay, so
absolutely.
so it should be embedded into the facade.
And there's no way to make it a condition, but it would be nice if the applicant acquired the easement for the rear entrance.
Good shot at that.
I wish it could be illegal. I wish it could require it. I wish the applicant had eminent domain to acquire the easement, but it's something to investigate.
All right, so those are all, that's all the conditions, and someone needs to second that one.
Can we get can we get Commissioner to second the motion?
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Combs Hollis. Motion made by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Combs Hollis. Commissioner Zhang,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Toole,
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell Epps. Commissioner Epps. Commissioner Epps.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes.
Commissioner Forsyth.
Yes.
Commissioner Grosskloss.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Combs Hollis.
Yes.
Chair Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries 6 in favor, 0 opposed. 8 in favor, 0 opposed. I'm sorry. Application is approved.
Thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
for the time and the comments. We appreciate it.
Have a
Thank
good
you very
evening,
much.
everyone.
Good night.
And don't forget to send us pictures and pictures of when it's going down the building.
Will do. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Night.
This is Commissioner O2. I just wanted to send a shout out and a vote of confidence and a lot of other positive things to Commissioner Miller for her copious notes, and to Commissioner Zhang for his sharing of that link that showed the 20-foot lane going to Maiden Lane. That was very, very helpful. Yeah, if they could get that I think that would be a game changer, and it could really, really help their design. But thanks for providing it. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it's a very good opportunity. It's a it doesn't increase the project costs at all, but
It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect for that.
Their entrance on Branford Place is 20 feet, and the width of the property that was sold in 2018 is 20 feet.
Yeah, I mean, come on. So, hopefully they can make that work. But
It's a fraction of the cost of the building and so forth. And so if they can do it, and they, I'm hoping that you are right and that they can do that. Get it.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Smith. Everybody's off, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would just make a
No, there's someone in the weight room.
Let me see.
No, we're good.
Okay, this is just, I want to make a request to the Secretary and the Commission. When it comes to demolition, can you give us enough runway because I'm not personally always available to go into a building and everyone is working, so we need at least enough runway so that if we, I mean, this time we went on the fact that we did it through design review, but I think that a lot of times we want to go inside, but we just need a longer runway. That's it.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Excellent meeting, everyone. This was good. Good
Well,
exercise.
Everyone
If on that suggestion, Anthony, I would be happy, since I made the motion, to do that if there'd be maybe one or two other commissioners that would join me at a convenient time. And maybe Kevlin can determine that and so forth to set it up.
See, here's the thing, Richard, me and you are in Newark working, so it's easy for us to stop through the. I just need more time.
I don't mind, Anthony. The only problem I have is hard to find parking.
It is.
Can we at least get a parking sticker or something?
Been working on that for a long time.
Official Newark business. Official.
Yeah, that's what I'm
business.
saying. Can we get at least something like that? I mean,
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
come down every single time. I don't have a problem. I come early.
Anthony can pull some strings. I've been trying.
Well, I don't know about pulling strings, but I do know that we did request it, and I did talk to the mayor's office, and they're working on it for us. And also, if you don't have your ID, they're still allowing you to get your ID, so you can just walk into the building.
Yeah, I have mine, and it works wonderfully.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, but Commissioner Miller, I'm working on it. I'm gonna I'll call the BA's office again about it, because I mean, you know, a $45 ticket is a $45 ticket.
I got a ticket myself. I thought it was being taken care of, and I was supposed to be in court, I think today, and I wasn't able to because I had another appointment, and it's $65.
They said you're rich, Richard. You could do it. I'm gonna
Commissioner Grosclaw is going to be on the lam for a $60 ticket.
65.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next month.
Okay, can we make a motion to adjourn, please?
I so move. Let's adjourn.
I second. Grosclaw.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Can I ask?
Wait, you gotta say the roll call. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
And I think Mr. Groskos have a question.
Yeah, I do. The reason I'm asking this question is because like last year, we had up to M, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, and today we just had A and B.
That's great.
Well, I mean, and then
Don't complain, Richard.
Richard, don't do that, Richard.
Don't worry, we're gonna get there.
Don't
We're gonna
pile
get
us
there
on,
at some
Richard.
point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking
to
that
A and
things
B.
are going on. that we don't
Richard's
know
disappointed.
about, and they're just doing them.
Richard wants
That's
12
what
o'clock
I'm
meetings. We don't
thinking
want
of.
12 o'clock meetings.
Well, I hope there's not an economic crash.
It just seems like they're, I mean, you know, I don't like 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock either, but if there are things that are going on and they're just overlooked, I don't know, but I did see something going on in Forest Hill, and I'm not sure if anybody reported it or if they have the application in, but the work was being done.
Do you have an address?
I think it was off of Delavan Avenue, and it would be the second or third street up from the park. And it might be about either the first or second house in.
I need an address to check it to see, because people do work and most times they don't come together.
Come to us. I mean, we're getting around.
Well, the second street
Go to
from
them,
the
they
park,
won't come to you.
the second street from the park is Parker or either Ridge. So, because you got Lake Parker Ridge.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Thank you.